just wondered, sometimes with court reporters, it's kind of competitive, so I was just curious.
For me, C didn't come to order.
Please, you. Oh, we don't have a,
State don't listen to it.
we don't have a statement.
Let's see if they responded to me.
Did you say they gave you a note? Tim,
Yes, sir.
you wanna give it to him?
Yes, sir. And I just received it about 3 minutes ago.
This would be Q3. I won't announce what it is until the state gets here. But we don't have a clerk, so I'll file mark it. Actually, it isn't a question, it's a statement from the jury. $144. All right, let the record reflect the defendant is present with counsel, DA is present, and the jurors are not present. They've indicated they have a verdict, and they handed the bailiff a note as well. Is your co-counsel going to be here?
Yes, he's on his way, Your Honor.
Okay. Q3, that's what I've labeled it, and to be consistent, received 1:44 p.m. 3/9/18 today. Dear Judge, as members of the jury, we collectively decided upon 10 years community supervision for count 1 with the intent to assure accountability to society upon completion of confinement. Then it's signed by the foreman and then by all the jurors as well. I think all of them. 1, 2, 3. I only count 11 signatures, so. And y'all want to come up and look at it? I don't know if there's much we can do about it. I mean, we're going to have to go with the verdict. I don't quite understand it. It doesn't require a response, so I might just say we put it in the record and drive on. And come on out and give us the verdict.
That's one.
You got 12?
I think so. I think
Okay.
there's 11 at the bottom
Yes.
of the foreman.
Some of them write
I
as
got
bad.
it 12.
Some of them
I
write
think
as
this
bad
is
as
a
I do. That's the problem. Here we go.
Must be a dot.
All right, bring him in.
Judge, can we just have the victim's not up here yet?
I'm sorry.
The victim's not up here yet. She's on her way from our office.
Is that her? No, that's not her.
They're walking down the hall right now, Your Honor.
Yeah, we don't need to delay. It's gonna take, we'll wait till they get here before we take the verdict.
Thank you.
All rise for the jury.
Please be seated. Court's back in session. Let the record reflect The defendant is present in open court with counsel, the DA is present, and the 12 jurors are present. Mr. Rios, would you hand the verdict form to the bailiff, please?
Yes, Your Honor.
Can you assure me it's a unanimous verdict as to all 3 counts?
It is.
Thank you. Defendant, please rise for the verdict. All right, verdict as to count 1, intoxication assault. Check on the first line, confinement by the Texas Department of Criminal Justice for a term of 10 years, enter a number, 10 years, and no fine. And having assessed punishment at no more than 10 years confinement, we further find the defendant has never been convicted of a felony and recommend she be placed on community supervision. That's as to count 1. And they recommend suspension of the term of confinement only. So they did assess fine, that makes sense. As to count 2. Verdict of the jury, count 2, intoxication manslaughter, no recommendation of community supervision. Check the first line, confinement by the Texas Department of Criminal Justice for a term of 7 years and no fine. Signed by the foreperson. And count 3. They again check the first one, and again it's 7 years. 7 years confinement, no probation, and no fine. And the foreman has assured me it's a unanimous verdict. That said, does either side wish to have the jury polled?
We do not, Your Honor. No, Your Honor.
Very well. Then on the assurance of the foreman it's a unanimous verdict, I will pronounce it a unanimous verdict and sentence the defendant in accordance with that verdict. As to count 1, 2. I can remember, but I need to be reading it when I do it so I don't mess it up. As to count 1, she is sentenced to 10 years confinement in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice Institutional Division. That sentence will be, and there'll be no fine. That sentence will be suspended and probated for a term of 10 years. And counts 2 and 3, accepting the jury's verdict on each counts 2 and 3, I will assess her punishment at 7 years confinement on each count. Now, on whether or not to run concurrently or consecutively, I think you have a right to a pre-sentence investigation report if you want one.
We do, Your Honor. We do request that.
Very well. Would somebody notify probation?
We did, Your Honor.
All right.
Your
As
Honor,
soon as the probation officer gets here, pardon me?
I think it's optional within the discretion of the court under Section 42A Code of Criminal Procedure. And given that the defendant is being incarcerated, I would urge the court to hold off on that if for no other reason than we've got some victims who would like to allocute, and it would be a great burden for them to have to come back in 6 to 8 weeks in the middle of a regular pretrial docket to do that.
They can allocute today. There's no reason to stop it.
All right.
I don't know what Code of Criminal Procedure you're reading, but they definitely can do their allocution today. I'm not going to take it under advisement whether or not to stack the sentences. It occurs to me, though, that it's not the jury's intention that occur, and that's going to weigh pretty heavily with me.
Yes.
But you are entitled to a PSI, so if you want one, we'll make sure there is one.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay? Granted. That will be taken under advisement then as to whether they're consecutive or concurrent until the PSI is prepared.
And Your Honor,
And
just
of course, you can call witnesses at that hearing as well if you think it's necessary.
Yes, Your Honor.
Both sides.
And Your Honor, just to protect my record, the state would formally request that the sentences be run consecutively.
You can request whatever you want, counsel. I haven't told you what I'm going to do.
I understand, but I just wanted to make the request on record.
Who wants to allocute? Come on up. Would you leave the mic on forward too?
Yes, sir.
And Madam Court Reporter, you do not have to take down the allocation.
Okay.
Just have a seat right there. Slide it up there.
year and 7 months thinking about what I would say to you. Don't cry. Don't cry. Every time it changes. But looking at you today, knowing what I know, I'm not quite sure you're capable of understanding any dialogue that isn't enabling your poor behavior and decision making. This entire time I've struggled with my faith, not to be angry towards you, and forgive your friends and family for enabling you. I almost felt sorry for you that your own friends didn't care whether you lived or died that day. They just let you go. I thought it wasn't your fault that your family didn't care enough to teach you a lesson, but instead threw money to get you out of jail. And in doing so, you became my problem. But you don't deserve my pity. I don't know what's worse. What you said when you were drunk, accusing my husband and I of drinking that day at the river, or when you were completely sober on the phone with your boyfriend just months after you murdered my family, discussing our fictitious involvement in the cartel. You have shown you are incapable of remorse, and you don't want to know what it's like to take full responsibility for your actions. Instead, you point the finger. You pointed the finger at your boyfriend for the drugs that you knew about, that you used. Instead of taking responsibility for the shit person you are, you're blaming your upbringing. You're a coward. You even tried to point the finger at us for claiming we caused the accident. You were driving straight. You saw us at the river. You saw me taking shots. You're a liar. But I'm not them. I won't take the fall for you. I don't care about your troubled childhood. I had one too. It's no coincidence you haven't seen my mother and my biological father in this courtroom since this trial has started. I grew up messed up too. I didn't have anyone come to my rescue to bail me out of anything. There's no excuse. I had to grow up fast. My husband, his family came over here with nothing. They worked day in and day out for their family. Did you see us out there doing anything illegal? Did you see us out there selling drugs? Did you see us out there murdering people? No. And that's the difference between you and me. At 21, my husband had already provided for our household. He already made his intentions for our future family very clear. At 21, you're out there murdering people. You don't know me. You don't know what my life was like before Fabian. He finally made my world stable. I finally felt safe. And you stole that from me. On August 2nd, you made a decision for my family we had no say in. You made a decision for my son that his parents had no say in. My husband made a vow to me in a room full of all of our loved ones, November 14th, 2015, that his arms would always be my home, and you took that from him. We didn't ask to be on the road with you. We didn't put that bottle that you so swiftly threw under your car before you came to tug on my husband's lifeless body to your mouth. If I was out on bond for drug charges, I'd be mortified. I'd be hiding out at home. But what were you doing on that Tuesday? out having a good old time. Couldn't even wait for the weekend. Just went on about your life because you never had to deal with any real consequences. While we were out there trying to make a better life for our family, you were out there with no remorse for your previous crimes. You said you prayed for forgiveness? Is that before or after you accused us of drinking at the same place you were? My husband was in the room dying. You were outside accusing us of being drunk. How do you live with yourself? But you're sorry, Miss Remorseful. I'm sorry. I'm sorry your family didn't take the time to correct you. I'm sorry the justice system failed you and never taught you a proper lesson. I'm sorry I even know you exist because I wish I never did. I'm sure you and I have both wished that it was you that day instead of them. You're so much more than just a poor girl with a bad childhood. You're so much more than just a stupid girl who can't learn from her bad decisions. You're a murderer and a thief. You stole my life. And you handed me a life sentence that day. The least you can do is sit in jail, not just so you can learn from what you've done, but so no other family has to know you like I know you. I believe you're a danger to yourself and those around you. You have shown you're incapable of remorse. I don't buy your crocodile tears or the sweet little innocent girl they try to portray you to be. You're a monster. And you're not sorry for what you've done. You're sorry because it landed you right there. You're sorry because you got caught.
Any other allocution?
No, Your Honor.
Very well. All right, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, thank you for your service to your community. The amount of compensation you'll receive for your service is in no way indicative of your value to our system. Our system could not operate but for conscientious citizens like you that put aside your daily activities and serve your community. And the jury function is one of the most vital things to keep this country free. As long as folks like you are between government and the results of criminal proceedings, I feel we're in good hands. I want to thank you for your service from the bottom of my heart. You're now free to talk about the case with anybody you like. You can go online and Google anything you like. You can say whatever you want on social media about your experience as jury service. You can talk to anybody you want to about it, or if you don't want to talk about it, you don't have to talk to anyone. I'm sure the lawyers would like to come back and visit with you about what they did. They're practicing law. They're always trying to hone their craft. And I'll be available to answer any questions you may have of me as well. So with that, thank you for your service.
All rise for the jury, please.
Court's in recess. Thank you. Make a copy as soon as I get that done.
You look so familiar. I guess I've just seen you around. How long? I got the exhibits back there.
Yeah, I think we should go ahead and see if the pencil's